of you guys see this explosive back and forth that went on between Olympic gold medalist Simone Biles and Riley Gaines? Well, apparently, there is a girls' softball team that just won a big championship. The only problem is their pitcher is a dude. Their pitcher is a boy pretending to be a girl. And that is not fair at all. That is not okay at all. And the reason why they won this championship is because this dude came out there and started pitching balls. No pun no pun intended. But the pitcher, which is a boy, came out there. He came out there and started pitching balls faster than any of these girls have ever seen. So it was not a fair competition, and that's why they won the championship. And after doing so, they posted this social media post acting like, oh my God, we're the greatest team ever. Congrats to us. Knowing that they cheated. Knowing that it's not right what they're doing. And the reason why we know that they know it's not right is because they turned off the comments on their post. Which is something I see a lot of these people, especially like on the left, doing. They know that most people do not support their weird, wild, crazy, disgusting ways. So they turn off the comments. They say something loud and proud and turn off the comments because they know the comment section will be filled with people who have common sense, unlike them. But anyways, they posted this post celebrating their huge victory, and Riley Gaines reposted it because you can't comment in the comments, so you have to quote tweet it. And here's what Riley Gaines said. Comments off. LOL. To be expected when your star player is a boy. Now, I feel like for the most part, that was really mild. Like, I would say something way more extreme than that. But all Riley Gaines said was, oh, you turned the comments off. It's just, oh, a really brave thing to do. It's to be expected because your star player is a boy. Well, this sent Simone Biles off. Simone Biles started freaking out and raging out after she saw this comment because disappointingly, and I've tried to come to Simone Biles' defense in the past, it will never happen again. Disappointingly, Simone Biles supports men being in the same locker rooms as your little daughters. Simone Biles supports men competing against women in women's sports. Simone Biles supports men with weird, creepy fetishes preying on your daughters in the locker room. That's what Olympic gold medalist Simone Biles supports. So here's what she had to say back to Riley Gaines. You are truly sick. All of this campaigning because you lost a race. Straight up sore loser. You should be uplifting the trans community and perhaps finding a way to make sports inclusive or creating a new avenue where trans feel safe in sports. Maybe a trans category in all sports, but instead you bully them. One thing's for sure. One thing for sure is no one in sports is safe with you around. So she's calling Riley Gaines a sore loser and all of these other things because Riley Gaines had to compete against a grown man that was beating all of the real actual women in their swimming competitions. I don't think Riley Gaines has ever tried to portray herself as if she is the best competitive swimmer of all time. I don't think she's ever tried to brand herself in that way. I think Riley Gaines is someone who, in all honesty, maybe shouldn't have such a large platform, because all Riley Gaines is someone who was willing to speak some common sense. All she was a woman or a girl at the time who was not afraid to say, hey, it's not right that I have to compete against men. So in this day and age, it's crazy because someone saying something like that is considered brave when it should just be common sense. If I say dudes are dudes and women are women, that should not be controversial. I should not get a pat on the back for that. People shouldn't raise me on their shoulders and act like I am a hero for basically just acknowledging basic reality. But that's where we're at now. People like Riley Gaines become famous because they're willing to just speak common sense in a world where common sense has been thrown to the wind. But she calls Riley Gaines a sore loser and all of these other things as if she was not competing against a whole dude. And when I see things like this, it makes me feel like, Simone Biles, all of your gold medals should be stripped away from you, and you should have to compete against a dude to win your medals back. Simone Biles' little hobbit ass needs to get out there, throw some chalk on them damn hands, and start swinging around them rings, start hopping around, doing what you can. She needs to compete against a dude to maintain her gold medals, in my opinion. Because if you feel like you can criticize a real woman that had to deal with a weird, creepy man in their locker room competing against them in swimming competitions, like if you're going to talk down to a real woman that had to deal with that, then at the very least, you should have to deal with it too. If you want to speak on something like that, then you should have to deal with it too. Walk a mile in Riley Gaines' shoes, right? But she's acting like, oh, Riley Gaines, you're sick in the head. So if she thinks Riley is sick in the head, then she thinks the same thing about me and about hopefully a lot of you all watching this video. I'm sure some people watching will be like, no, we want dudes in women's sports. How dare you? But most people, and I've come to realize that this isn't necessarily just a political thing. There are plenty of people on the left, Democrats, that still have common sense that don't support this either. But Simone Biles thinks that you are sick in the head if you're against a weird dude in a dress creeping in your daughter's locker room, trying to compete against her in volleyball and swimming and softball or what have you. So, in a moment's notice, after dropping this post, I think Simone Biles lost at least half of her supporters. Because when you look at Simone Biles, people are going to say things about her. I get it. I know not everyone likes her. I know that she quitted on her team a couple of Olympics ago. I remember all of that. But she was still a great athlete. Simone Biles is or was a great gymnast. None of us can take that away from her. She is extremely talented. And I am proud of what she did for America when it comes to winning these gold medals and things like that. I'm not going to take that away from her. And I think that she had plenty of support all around the board. People from different races, religions, political beliefs, what have you. I think Simone Biles had a lot of support. I feel like she, at least because of her accomplishments, she was a great role model for young women out there. For young, inspiring female athletes. Simone Biles is one of the biggest names when it comes to female athletes in recent history. There's so many young girls that look up to her growing up. And she ruined that for a lot of people, including herself. She was willing to throw all of that out of the window. Screw girls, screw female sports. We need to make things more inclusive for trans people. We need to make things more inclusive for these weirdo dudes that have a fetish for dressing up like girls and get off on getting into women's only spaces. That's what these people get off on. This has nothing to do with people feeling like they're trapped in the wrong body and all of that nonsense. It's a purely sexual thing. They get some type of gratification out of inserting themselves in women's spaces where they know they don't belong. And Simone Biles apparently supports that. But Simone had to take things even further. Because one thing you'll learn about these people, they'll act all virtuous. They will act like they're holier than thou. They will act as if they have a moral authority over you, that they're better people. How dare you say things that may hurt that boy's feelings who's pretending to be a girl and taking opportunities away from real girls in softball. You know, they'll pretend like they're just these pure people and they just don't want to see people's feelings hurt and stuff like that. But immediately they will always show their true colors. They immediately will body shame people, and I don't even really think that's a word. That's a word they created, but they're the main ones that body shame people. They will body shame people. They will talk about your appearance. They will stoop to all types of low levels to disrespect you if you go against their women can be men too type of ideology. So Simone Biles immediately resorted to coming after Riley Gaines' appearance. And here's what she said. Bully someone your own size, which would ironically be a male. So Simone Biles is basically saying that Riley Gaines is ugly and she's big for a woman, that she's the size of a male. Now I want you to take a look at Simone Biles. Now, mind you, Simone Biles is a very, very small woman. I don't want to be here shaming Simone Biles for her looks. I don't want to shame anyone for their looks. I'm trying to be a nice guy here. But if you're going to come for Riley Gaines saying that she basically looks like a man, maybe you should look at yourself in the mirror. Look at those strong-ass arms. Look at those broad shoulders. They're broader than your hips. That's kind of manly. And you gotta understand, Simone Biles is like 4 foot something. She's a very small woman. So any woman compared to her is considered big. So Riley Gaines, I think Riley Gaines is like 5'5". But to Simone Biles, that's a giant. You're the size of a man, Riley. But here's the funny part. And here's why you can always poke holes in their little ideologies and their sick, twisted ways of thinking. You see, Simone Biles is so upset that Riley Gaines simply pointed out that, hey, the pitcher is a boy on this all-girls team. Riley Gaines claims, or Simone Biles, she claims that she's such an ally of the trans community. Yet, when she says that Riley Gaines is the size of a man, what does that tell you? That tells you that in Simone Biles' mind, even as idiotic and as stupid as she apparently is, she knows there's a difference between men and women. If men can be women, then there's no difference. If a man can be on the girls' softball team, then there's no difference, right? Yet you say that Riley Gaines is the size of a man. I thought there was no difference here. You're saying that Riley Gaines is the size of a man, but what is a man? What is a woman? What is anything? So these people fully understand what a man is. They fully understand the differences between men and women, but they pretend like they don't until it comes time to offend you, until it comes time to insult you. They'll say that a man, they'll say, oh, you're like a woman, to insult him. Simone Biles will look at Riley Gaines and say, oh, you look like a man, you're the size of a man, to insult her. But at the same time, you're kind of pointing out that your logic and your ideology is flawed here. Because you're acknowledging the difference between men and women. You're acknowledging that a woman looking like a man or being the size of a man, that is that is gross, right? That is grotesque. That is something to laugh at. It's nasty in a way. It's hurtful. It's shameful. It's a joke. You're a woman that looks like a man. But what about all of the men who put on lip gloss and they put their hair in a ponytail and pretend they're a girl? What about them? So I just find it ironic and I find it hilarious that in this attack on Riley Gaines, Simone Biles also exposes that there is a huge difference between men and women. And you saying a woman looks like a man or is the size of a man, that's an insult to Simone Biles. Right? Simone Biles believes that is an insult. So what does she really think about trans people? What does she really think about these men that are pretending to look like women? What does she really think about the men who are popping testosterone to grow beards and look like men? It shows you her true colors and how she truly thinks. She wants to be out there and be virtuous, but in reality, she's not. She wants to be out there and have some type of moral high ground by supporting the trans community, but within her own comments, she also hurts the trans community. So, I don't know what she thought she was going to gain here, but all she did was lose the respect and the support of thousands upon thousands upon thousands of people. I hope you impressing a couple of dudes in dresses that are preying on women in their women's bathrooms right now as we speak, I hope you impressing them was worth it, Simone Biles. I really do. And I find it especially disgusting because Simone Biles was a victim of a creepy dude, the Team USA doctor, that attached himself to women's sports so he could prey on young women. So Simone Biles should know that these type of people exist, yet she wants more people like that in women's sports. She wants your daughters to have to be subjected to these creepy, weirdo dudes that pretend to be women. And it's just really sad because there are just so many young girls out there that were inspired by Simone Biles, that look up to her. And I feel like now she should go out and she should tell every single one of those girls what she wants. All of these little girls that are growing up, competing in whatever sports they're competing in, that look up to Simone Biles, I think they should know that now that Simone Biles has basically retired, she's pulling up the ladder behind her, and now she wants all of these young girls who are inspired to be like her, she wants them to have to compete against men. She wants all of these young girls, she wants their opportunities stripped away from them by men pretending to be girls. Just the countless young girls that Simone Biles is their hero. Simone Biles is on their Chex box, their Cheerios box. Simone Biles poster on the wall. They gathered around the TV to watch Simone Biles do the Olympics, and now Simone Biles is sending the message to these little girls that, hey, you got to compete against dudes because I say so. And if you don't want to compete against dudes, you are sick in the head. You are a bad person, little girl, if you don't want to compete against a grown man. That's what Simone Biles is saying. And I hope that people get this message loud and clear and understand what the actual message is. And the people who are supporting her with this nonsense, I hope your daughters have to compete against men, and then we'll see if you feel the same way. But for now, you guys, let me know what you think about this down in the comments below. While you're down there, hit that thumbs up, hit that subscribe, ring that notification bell, and I'll talk to you all very soon in the next one.